Hey, it's Rob Vanovermeire for your December 2020 Calgary market update. I got all the stats in front of me, and you're going to find this really interesting. I cannot believe where we are this year. Who would have thought that things would have played out the way that they did? So let's get right into it because this is the last month of the year, and you're going to get a good sense of just what's happened on this crazy roller coaster ride. But take a look at what you're seeing right here. 39.43% absorption rate for detached houses. Keep in mind, this is the detached house market. And you can see just what the year looked like. You can see our absorption rate in November a year ago was 24%, and to jump all the way to 40%, that's a huge increase for the month of November. We don't usually see Novembers like that. It's hard to understand what's really going on. I think there's a combination of low interest rates, combination of COVID is wanting people to get into detached houses, but whatever the reason is, this is what's going on, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Just to scroll down here, and you can see just where we're at in November. We had 2,242 homes on the market, 884 of them sold. So if you look at how this year has gone, we peaked with listings in July at 3,289, and now we're down to 2,342. And you can see from November last year, our inventory is down, our sales are up. And if this continues, prices are starting to rise. And we're already seeing that. We've seen more competing offers in the last few months than I have seen since 2015. So the good listings are getting snapped up in the detached market. There's still people out there asking too much money, and there's people out there that just don't have great properties and they're lingering around. But if it's priced right and it's a good house, it seems to be selling really quick and potentially with multiple offers. So just keep that in mind. And of course, right now, it's taking about 50 days to sell. Now let's look at the market distribution. I always love this chart. So it shows you right here, 400 to 500,000 is 31% of the market. We have a lot of activity in that price range to get into the detached homes. And with these low interest rates, like 1.3, 1.5, this is crazy. I mean, you can pay your house off so fast when you don't have to pay much in interest. No wonder people want to get into the market. And of course, as we climb up here, 5 to 600 is 19% of the market. That's an increase. 6 to 700,000 at 9% of the market. That's pretty strong as well. And then moving all the way up here to 1 million to 1.5, 3.21% of the market. That's still a little softer than we saw back in 2015 when we saw 5% of the market in that price range. But any way you slice it, you can see if you're under 1.5 million, it's still a pretty solid market. But definitely from 300 to $600,000, that's the biggest part of the market for Calgary. Let's just take a look now as we get into the attached properties. And you can see here the absorption rate drops right down to 26.84%. And that's still pretty good, all things to be considered, with our economy still not doing the best and the whole COVID thing that's going on. Still pretty good. That's an increase. I mean, take a look at November of 2019. It was only 17% absorption rate. So even this has definitely gotten better as well. Let's just scroll down to the hard numbers. 343 out of 1,278 sold. So looking at the data here, you can see that our listing inventory is also down 1,278 compared to 1,524 from a year ago. And we got higher sales. So this is really positive even for the attached market as well. 60 days on average is taking to sell a property. So this is all good news. Let's look at the market distribution. No surprise, the bulk of the listings are between 200 and 400,000. What's really popular for first-time buyers is to get into a nice attached property without condo fees, under 400,000. And I don't know what's going on, but the townhouses that have condo fees seem to be overlooked a little more. It's a tougher market. anything without condo fees seems to be moving. And you can see the market distribution just drops down considerably the moment you get over 400,000. And then, of course, in this area here of 500, to 900, you have a lot of the infill attached properties. And, just the demand just starts to really soften right as you get into the higher price points. Whereas, of course, the detached houses, not as much of a problem. Apartment condos. We're still seeing a really tough market here. Unfortunately, the lower interest rates haven't necessarily helped. I don't think COVID has helped when it comes to apartment condos. 13.97 absorption rate. It would be nice to see that market improve, but you can see a year ago it was at 13.37. There really hasn't been much significant change. We have too many condos available, and we just don't have enough buyers for them. So it's just not a great market for condos. There's the hard numbers: 211 out of 1,510. And if you go back a year ago, you can see that we have 1,510 listings compared to 1,406. So actually higher amounts of inventory, slightly higher sales volume, but not much. At the end of the day, we just really have too many condos and just not enough people wanting them. And for whatever reason, a lot of buyers just seem to be passing anything with condo fees by a lot more than I'd like them to see them do. So hopefully, this market will start to change. Typically, when detached houses start to climb in price, it becomes more affordable to get into condos, and things can change then. And maybe that's what will happen, but that could take a little while for it to happen too. 65 days on the market on average to sell it. And you can see the biggest demand, which is just really incredible, under $300,000. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's the bulk of the market. I mean, you're literally 75% of the condos are under $300,000. And I'm just dumbfounded as to how many are now under 200. I mean, a few years ago, we didn't see nearly that many condos under 200. So these prices have dropped down. I know even myself, I just sold a condo that our asking price was $145 for a 2-bedroom near Chinook Mall. And it took us quite a few months to sell it. And at that price, that you logically would think it would go, but it took a long time to get it sold. So you can see it's just not a high demand market. What I will tell you is the biggest trend I'm seeing is this has been continuing to happen. Some of the older neighborhoods with houses that have been renovated seem to be in high demand. Lake Bonavista, Willow Park, for example, Brentwood up in the north. Some of these areas that are highly sought after areas with renovated houses, buyers really seem to be flocking to those areas. So that's something that's been really significant. It seems like there's just a lot of people that want to get into areas that have a lot of amenities, larger lots, mature trees. That just seems to be a trend that's happening. So just pay attention to that. If you're a homeowner in any of these areas, we've had some great success with doing some joint ventures with the homeowners and renovating the houses and selling them. I've worked with a renovation company that's been doing this. We've had some great success. They go in and pay for the reno, do it all up, sell the property, and share in the profits with the homeowner. So feel free to inquire with me about that if you have questions around that. And as always, if you're a seller and you're just trying to get an understanding of where the market is for where you are, yeah, by all means, reach out to me and I will give you all the information to help you understand where you are at and what are your options of what you could do. There are a lot of options out there. And if you're a buyer, well, hey, this is a great opportunity. I mean, unprecedented low interest rates. Right now we've got some cashback mortgages. If you're a first-time buyer and you want to pay your credit card off and buy a house, we have a program for that. Amazing. If you're a buyer that wants to buy a property and renovate it, you can actually do a purchase plus improvements, and you can get an extra up to about $100,000 if you want it, and buy a property, get it renovated, and build that into these low interest rate mortgage. So just reach out to me and I'll tell you all the details. Other than that, have yourself a wonderful December, wonderful holiday season. We'll see you in the new year.